Well, it's can be challenging, and I think you actually probably put more effort into a collaboration. I know I've read the Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett wrote about their collaboration on Good Omens. I think they put a huge amount of extra effort into to working together. But I mean, I love the book. It was worthwhile.
Yeah. I have read a couple of collaborations I thought didn't work.
Mm,
But it was very easy to tell where one author's voice came in and another one.
yes. Yeah.
Um,
Mav asks, how do you capture inspiration away from the writing desk?
I think just simply, you're a writer when you're always in research mode.
Mm,
um, Occasionally, inspiration comes from everything. I mean, some of it's quite easy. I read books. I read a lot of nonfiction now. I particularly like books about the histories of stuff rather than the histories of people or countries. So I recently read a book called about colour, where all the different colours come from. Um, and that particularly was very good for this series because I'm an artist, of course. Um, then I like TV documentaries because being a very visual person, that helps me imagine worlds and lands and technology and things like that. And then I suppose there's also the more active research where I'll interview somebody or watch somebody or go to their studio and see what they do. I used to know a doctor. I used to grill him all the time. That's why there's so much medical stuff in the books. Um, and then there's also trying things out with yourself. Back in my 20s, I did fencing for a while and discovered that I was really, really bad at it. I remember I came home with bruises all down my arms and legs, just little 20-cent size bruises. I have no, because I'm too defensive. I'm always thought, and I would never hit anyone. It's not an offensive bone in my body, I used to say. And I also things like I had friends who had horses when I was a teenager, which is why I don't like to have horses in my books because it's so complicated. And there are
yes.
a lot of horse people out there that are really fussy. You get anything wrong, along with the fact that then there are people who are from this camp of what you do with horses and that camp with what you do with horses, and they don't agree with each other. And if it's like walking between them, just can't have horses.
It's a huge challenge.
But the sword fighting thing was fantastic. There's a number of fight scenes I've seen in books where I've gone, yeah, that works. But so you so totally wouldn't have a one-on-one fight on a rope bridge and then turn around to see what's happening to your mates. It's like, stab me in the back now.
Yeah, that kind of thing really annoys me in TV and movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mav also asks, when will you return to the UK? And he says, please. So I think this is a request as well as a query.
Um, I'm going next year for World Fantasy Con,
Ah,
which is in Brighton.
what time is that? Like what?
Later in the year, I
Mm,
think it's, yeah, I could look it up on the computer now, but I think it's August maybe.
hmm
The World Con's in August. Maybe it's a little bit later than that. Um, yeah, so I'm going anyway, but the chances are that I'll knock on the publisher's door and say, so we'd like to do some events or something, and they'll say yes.
mm,
So I could go to Poland and Germany as well, maybe France again.
mm.
Uh, it just sort of depends on who's interested and whether. Um, the problem is that there won't be another book out when I go over there. It'll be quite a while since The Traitor Queen, but it's too soon for the next book. So they may not want to do anything until there's a fresh, shiny book to promote. But I'll be there. I'll be at World Fantasy Con.
Mm. Okay, well, that'll be something for them to look forward to over in the UK.
And me.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, I expect you to blog all about it. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Thomas asks, are there arrangements to sell autographed books? You know, some authors have limited signed editions of their books. And if so, are there any available in the UK?
Um, I signed up about 200 book plates and sent them off to, I sent 200 to the UK, 200 to Poland, and 200 to Germany.
Hmm.
So there's the publishers there may have some sort of agreement with bookshops, but they're sending them out too. The problem is, and I recently gave away a copy of the Traitor Queen hardback as a competition on my blog, but it cost twice as much as the book is worth to post it. And that was posting it so it would arrive in 2 weeks. Sea-mail would be about the price of, a little bit more than the price of the book. And if I was to courier, it would cost something like 5 times the price of the book. And there comes a point where I just can't do this. And I don't even think it's necessarily a good idea. I suppose, it's carbon tax, people send me books to me and I send them back again. Not only is it a hideous amount of money for them to spend to do these things, but, it's planes taking these books across the world.
So the publishers have set it up to a point, but you're not sure where people can access them from.
I believe the idea behind the book plates was to give them to bookshops. So you might ring around, particularly the main bookstores, and they may know where to get them from. But they may also already be spoken for. It's hard to say. Basically, I've found with signings that if I do a signing in Melbourne, I'll get one person turn up. If I do one in another state in Australia, I'll get 10 people turn up. And if I go overseas, I'll get 100 people turn up. There's a certain sense of, if I'm not likely to be there very often, the more people will actually turn up to these things. And it's like wait and then bring the books. All these signings, I could never turn down anyone who brought the entire set, because I know they often have carried all those heavy books quite a way to see me, and I'm not going to be there very often. So I do try very hard to make sure I sign everything when I'm there. But yeah, it's all a matter of, as we Australians say, the tyranny of distance.
Yes. Bren McDibble and Alan Baxter said to ask you what your pantry looks like. And I'm getting the impression that maybe we should set up a virtual tour sometime.
My pantry is a TARDIS.
It's bigger on the inside.
It tends to make us bigger on the inside. It's a half TARDIS. It's full scale. Paul made it when we were going through all the renovation woes that we had here. It seemed to be the thing that he could just get his mind into and focus on. And there's one of the little doors in the front, where it has the little sign that opens up. It's a spice rack in there.
Wow.
So it even has lights that come on and little flashing lights. I still haven't managed to talk Paul into getting the sound effect. But we've got a cookie box that does that anyway.
Are you going to do a video and put that up on your website?
People keep telling me to. It's funny. It's. I think Paul worries that people are going to start ordering them, and he doesn't want to make any more. One was enough.
I can understand that, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I should put a photo up on the blog at least, or on Pinterest.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
A little Britain asks, do you ever get tired of people punning your name, as in Trudy Can in a Van or True Caravan?
I haven't had much in the way of anyone playing on my name since I was in primary school, and back in those days it wasn't very kind. So it doesn't tend to happen very much. I just laugh. Yeah.
And she's just being cheeky. I get the impression she probably knows you.
Ah.
Is there anything you'd like to say to fans?
Thank you very much for buying my books, for getting in contact with me and telling me that you love them. There's nothing more inspiring than a keen, enthusiastic audience. Really, it's just really great to know that you want more.
Well, thank you very much for talking to Dark Matter today.
Thank you, Nalini. It's been an honour. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. I'll see you around.
Okay, bye.
Bye.